Hit record.
I did.
Yay.
I already did hit
Cool.
record.
Cool. All right.
Oh, enjoy that.
Wow, what a great start.
Yeah, it's a great start.
Why don't you hit record again?
No, we're keeping it. We're keeping all of it.
Really?
Yeah,
Let me cough.
yeah. No, it's gonna be in there.
Hello, everybody.
I had to clear some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Had a nice weekend.
had a good weekend. New female
That's
friend.
good.
New female friend. How's your weekend?
Same. Had a great weekend. Went to the beach. Got a
Beach.
tan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And enjoyed some time on the sand and in the sun with a dog.
It looks like you only have a farmer's tan though.
I mean, it was scorching hot. I
Okay.
need more time in the sun to kind of get a better tan.
Yeah,
I'm already kind of tan. That's the problem.
I have to burn my head at least once a season to not have to be forced to put suntan lotion on every single time I go outside.
No, SPF every time, all the time. I no, I get burned way too quickly, and
But
it's
you've
awful.
you've got more melanin than me. How do you get burned more than me?
I don't know. I think maybe I'm just genetically
Bernie?
set to absorb more sun. I mean, you have more pigment. You absorb more of the rays.
My cells are weak. Is that the answer?
You porcelain man.
Anyway, welcome to What You're Playing. What's my intro? A podcast
Two
between
failed-
yeah, that's it. A podcast between two failed YouTuber best friends who have never met in real life, who want to talk about games and what they're playing. Housekeeping? Do you have any?
Um, no, honestly, actual housekeeping, like needing to do laundry. And
Yeah,
cleaning.
I have to wash my I have to wash my sheets, and I've got definitely some laundry that needs to happen.
Yeah, I think and I need to do something to my sound card or audio drivers or something because like for the past week, for some reason I get clicking
Oh yeah.
and audio playback, but it hasn't happened today. I think when it's like system overload, but it's hard to push the resources in this beast.
You
So I don't know
definitely
what
you
happened.
definitely don't have any on your output because I don't hear anything
No,
like that.
yeah, it doesn't happen on output. I've
Okay.
asked multiple people when I had like Teams meetings at work.
I have a somewhat interesting housekeeping. I don't know how you feel about it, but my buddy from college, who's an obsessive game collector and very big into PlayStation, is
Let me guess. Let me guess. This is your buddy Mike T.
yes, Mike T. Yes,
It's a random guess.
yeah.
I,
He is as of today, he has ordered himself a new microphone, and
Uh-huh.
I think he may be joining us either on a guest basis or maybe a permanent basis coming up.
well, how was his reaction? What has he seen or slash heard any
Well,
of the stuff we did already?
we've been talking about doing something like this for years, but he's just like never had the gear. And then I think once he started seeing what we were putting out, he was like, "Fuck, I should have got in on that."
Oh, he did see.
Yeah. So,
Oh, nice.
So I think he wants to get in on it, and he is
That's awesome.
he's got quite a breadth of knowledge about games, and he's got some interesting douchey opinions that could be fun to bring on. Yeah.
I'm excited actually.
Yeah. So
I
besides
mean,
that,
I'm totally for expanding. Like up to 4 people, you can easily do it. Like
Four-
it won't get chaotic. Nobody will like.
yeah.
Huh.
4 would be nice. Got to get like a female opinion in here, but it's a little tough. I don't know that many gamer girls.
Because right now I feel like I'm more of a facilitator
Yeah.
versus like somebody who brings anything extra to the table right now because you have like a lot of current knowledge.
Yeah.
You do know a lot of names, you know a lot of companies. I'm more like, oh really? Oh, tell me about that. Or that's great.
Well,
But
speaking of some knowledge about games, we got a
yes,
bunch of games to talk about here. A lot are returning series. Some I've never heard of before.
interesting
Because
games though.
we're talking about the PS5 reveal that happened last
Hmm.
week, which out of the gate, I want to say that reveal was a banger. I thought they did a really good job.
It was, and you know what? I think they were even able to cram in more content because there was less like audio audience sort of not like interaction, but
Yeah,
like when they do it in an arena, usually it's slower.
yeah. And they always have
I
some
feel like
ridiculous concert with like a 30-piece like wind chime section.
Yeah, and when the developers or like the producers and people come out and they talk about a game, every sentence they say they pause for like cheers and
Oh my
applaud and
God,
like
yeah.
all that stuff. But this one was just like boom, 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 trailer, dev coming out talking about it, and then just kept going, and you're just sitting there like, okay, oh
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
all right.
I kind of hope that COVID permanently kills E3.
This is better
Because
format, isn't it?
this is a good presentation. It's a good way to do it, and like obviously
But
we're never
merch.
yeah, but we're never going to be famous to get invited to E3.
You don't know
I
that. You don't know that.
still it seems like a terrible idea
No, I know.
in the years of possibly pandemics for the rest of our lives.
Let's not get dark like that. Hopefully not the rest of 2020, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially since they say like winter is going to be like a tougher second comeback of it. But one thing I wanted to mention about
Oh, actually, let me send you this article as well, so you can just follow along with me here. Go ahead.
this is like the list of it's
Yes.
like a text coverage of it.
Yeah, this is from GameSpot.
So something that we're probably not gonna touch on because of the way that we're gonna approach this is this little segment at the very end where they were showing like a mosaic of different like entities. I don't know like if they were all like the game devs or like some sort of representative of those companies, but um and in tiny text like they were so quick and we're just like here's the face of a person. So it was like right before the console physical reveal,
Yeah.
and it was just like a bunch of devs
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
talking about the future of gaming and stuff like that. And a lot of them weren't even saying anything. It was just like an image of them sitting there with like their company name in the bottom left corner.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of indie games now. Like
Yeah.
I was so happy to see like there was Raw Fury, a lady from Raw Fury. There was what was the other Devolver?
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
from Devolver. I'm like, man, these people have actually we've been around we were around when they started making good content.
Well, this
like
this
indie
last
games.
generation, I feel like Xbox 360, PS3 generation is like the not the birth, but like kind of like I don't know what the right word is, but it's when indie started to roll. And,
Yeah.
and during PS4 and Xbox One, like indie exploded.
Yeah, they actually recognize the indie scene seriously.
They're a
and
true they're a true pillar now.
and they started having so many indie releases. Like they had even Xbox had like its own indie section,
Yeah.
and
And
it's
then
very
Nintendo does their Nintendo Directs that are about nothing but indies.
yeah,
It
yeah.
used to be called Nindies, but I think it's called Indie World Showcase now or something like that. Yeah.
It's awesome. Indie games are great. I mean, I'm going to talk about an indie game at the end of the podcast today.
Okay. I think the game I'm going to talk about is indie too. I'm actually not sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. First off, they showed Grand Theft Auto 5. Like,
We totally call it.
yeah,
actually.
I know, but like it totally makes sense from a financial standpoint. It's like the best-selling game of the past decade or whatever. You know that they want to keep printing money with it. They'll do little expansions, make it look a little bit better, but like I don't care, right? I mean, it came out on PS3. I don't care. I played it on PS3. There's nothing here that really tickles my fancy.
That's the thing I was gonna say. Obviously, it's played before, and what I'm gonna say a lot is whether I was impressed with what they showed or not,
Yeah.
taking advantage of like a new console technology and all of that.
Yeah.
And honestly, Grand Theft Auto 5 did not look like it's really like they didn't need to open with that.
Them
Definitely
opening
not.
with this like made me worried. I was like, ooh, like that's your
like,
big opener. That ooh.
That's the thing. I'm even like thinking about like the reason behind like the order. Maybe was it based on how much money these companies brought in? These games.
That's what
brought in?
I was watching somebody else react to it when it was airing, and they were like, "That was a commercial. Like that's nothing."
It really was.
That's straight up just a commercial.
It was a game trailer.
I mean,
it was not made to showcase.
Technically, this whole thing is a giant commercial, but like that feels like here's a bucket of money. Can we be at the start of this thing? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, it's good that it'll be there. It'll make money. People are obsessed with it. I think if you already own it, something will happen. This new version will feature enhancements and will be expanded. GTA Online will be free to all PS5 owners, which is all they really care about anymore now, is because they, It's their
Is that like what they use for role playing a lot?
yeah. Well, it's also just their microtransaction factory, basically. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are the reasons why it's being ported over.
All right. Let's get past that and get to the interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So I know you did not play it, but Marvel Spider-Man 2018 on PS4 is one of the greatest games I've ever played. I'm really happy that they're doing this spin-off game with Miles, who is basically like the current day Spider-Man, really.
I was gonna ask you, and I really don't mean this in a racist way, but who is this guy?
What is he's Miles Morales. He's just a new character. He's not very new. He's been around for a bit.
How is he also Spider-Man?
I can't remember how he became Spider-Man. I just know that Into the Spider-Verse is amazing. I don't know if you've seen Into the Spider-Verse.
No.
He doesn't become Spider-Man. He is just like another guy that has Spider-Man-like powers. But he has even more powers. He's got like some kind of venom sting thing he can do too.
So he was also bit by a spider at some point?
I can't remember. Let me see.
Doesn't that take away the special thing about
Oh, come on. Spider-Man's so old. Like, who gives a shit? You know?
I don't know, diehard fans. Not that I'm one. I actually don't even like superheroes.
Okay, so Miles was bitten by a slightly different genetically engineered spider than the one that granted Peter Parker superhuman powers. Miles Morales possesses abilities similar to the original Spider-Man, including enhanced strength and agility, the ability to hit walls and ceilings with his hands, and a spider sense. He's got even more than that, though. Is there like a powers section?
Other Spider-Man does whatever Spider-Man does, and then
powers
some.
And abilities. He also has the ability to camouflage himself, including his clothing to match his surroundings. And he has a venom strike that can temporarily paralyze anyone with just a touch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he directly shits on OG Spider-Man.
Oh, he's better, yeah.
Because Spider-Man only slings web.
Well, in the original Spider-Man, that's
all he does.
And the original Spider-Man, he doesn't even have that webbing. That's not part of his powers. He just invented that webbing. That's a mechanical thing that he uses. The Venom Strike does not employ actual venom, but is a type of directed energy that can be conducted through Miles's gloves and can be used against an opponent at a distance by conducting it through a material in which both Miles and his opponent are in contact, such as his webbing. So he can hit someone with a webbing and paralyze them.
So he's kind of like the Batman of Spider-Man?
Yeah, but he's like really, I think he's like really plucky and optimistic and like unsure of himself and stuff. He's like an endearing character. He's
what I mean, like he most of his powers come from like tech.
No, it's that power right there. What it said is not through tech, but it said that he can transmit the venom strike through objects. So so if he's like holding on to, he can like shoot that energy through or whatever.
Wow, psychic Spider-Man.
I'm pumped for it. The Miles
Psionic.
The Miles storyline stuff that was in Marvel. He's in Marvel Spider-Man. He's like Peter at the end of it. Peter is like teaching him how to be Spider-Man, basically.
Oh, cool! All right.
So he's like passing the baton to Miles, and Miles has an interesting story where like his father was killed in the line of duty, and he has to like be the man of the house to like,
of course,
like all that kind of stuff.
Has to have a superhero background, sort of thing.
And I don't know, he's got the character design that they had, like the Miles that I'm used to has like bigger natural hair, and he had kind of like a shaved head in this one. So like,
yeah, he did.
It's not as cool of a character design, I don't think, but
like more of an afro sort of thing, like a short fro.
Sort of, yeah. Is like kind of closer to a flat top, but rounded off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this version of Spider-Man, this world,
who's that guy? Batiste from Overwatch.
Baptiste. Yeah, kind of like Baptiste.
Yeah.
So this Insomniac's version of Spider-Man is their own world. Like they're drawing from the comics, but it's not canon to the comics, so they can do whatever they want in terms of aesthetics and shit like that.
They were pretty excited about it, and the game looked really good. I mean,
Oh
what they
my
put
God.
together was visually impressive.
And it's coming out in 2020. That's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. Most of the titles actually did say 2021. Yeah,
I know.
like I think maybe 3 titles in total said 2020.
So this is not a full sequel to Marvel Spider-Man from 2018. This is a spin-off, kind of like, is it called Last Legacy or Lost Legacy from the Nathan Drake games? I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah.
It's going to be more like that, where it's a spin-off story, but it's going to be a fully fledged game. I expect it to be, at least 10 to 15 hours before they put out DLC.
Most 20 hours.
And
Yeah.
I imagine because the turnaround time between this game and the last game is so short, I imagine they will reuse the world that they have built, which is basically all of New York, which it's really awesome to swing from one side of New York to the other. I mean, obviously it's condensed, but all the major landmarks are there, all the things you could think of: Empire State Building, the Freedom Tower, like Central Park, all that kind of stuff is there.
And people love that crap.
Oh, dude, it's so fun.
When there's a
to
game
swing
made in
around.
Chicago, or at least like remotely resembles Chicago,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, it's Chicago, and you see like the L trains and a couple of like major landmarks in downtown. You're like, ooh, this is really good. It's my town. Oh,
It's going to be
it's
interesting
my
what
town in
people.
the video game.
I'm going to be interested to see what people from Seattle have to say about The Last of Us Part 2, because a major chunk of the game takes place in post-apocalyptic Seattle.
Ooh.
The first Last of Us, the first chapter is in Boston, so that was pretty interesting for me. But
Was it similar to Boston? Like, did you
I mean,
recognize-
the big landmark that you go to at the end, like the Capitol building, like I've been there,
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So that was pretty cool. Also, the last Fallout was in Boston as well, which is pretty interesting. Fallout 4 was in Boston.
Not the bad one. The
No,
actual-
not 76. Like,
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
people do say that Fallout 4 is not good, but I think it's fine. I have no problems with it.
It's the same thing. It's more of the same thing.
So we didn't get much of this. I'm excited for it because I'm a big fan of... I'm not like a crazy Spider-Man or comic book fan, but I do love that game from 2018. And it's obviously the same team. It's Insomniac, which are now a first-party studio of PlayStation, which is amazing.
Wow.
And hopefully it's awesome. I think it's going to be.
Awesome.
What do you have to say about Gran Turismo 7?
Actually, I was excited about it.
Really? You're a car head?
I do like
or gearhead, that's what they call it. Right?
good. Not really,
Yeah.
but I like racing games.
Yeah.
If they're done right, and it looks really fun. But the thing is, it was a little lackluster. I don't know if you were paying attention to like the scenery and like the draw distance and the textures, but a lot of it was glitchy, and I couldn't help but actually
God,
catch
why are you
a lot of
calling me,
trees.
dude? Sorry, somebody's trying to call. I'm on a call, and someone's trying to call me. Sorry, go ahead.
Popular guy.
Yeah.
But when you're watching something like that, like this event, and there's a short snippet of like a game or like showcasing it, you pay attention. You're like, okay, let's see what they're showing. And I wasn't impressed. Like the car models were amazing. I thought the textures of like the interior. There was a part that were like driving, and it was from like the driver's seat point of view, and you could see like the plastic sort of texture on the window, whatever you want to call it, sill, or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't help but notice that some of the trees looked like how the old school trees were just like two planes of leaves that are
Like smashed together.
like the cross. Yeah.
Like you took like paper craft and stuck them together.
Yeah, two sides. Some of them looked like that, and then there were a lot of textures popping in and out. Some of the draw distance, like you could see it pretty far, but it was really blurry. Even like as it was coming closer, I was surprised that it wasn't like becoming a little more texturized. So
yeah. But the cars, that's where they put it all. They put it all in the cars.
Cars looked amazing. Yes.
To me, these
driver POVs were absolutely phenomenal.
Every single time that they, release one of these, it's normally, I feel like it's always early in a console cycle. And I feel like they always do it to be like, look how good we can make these textures look. And they do mostly just focus on the cars, I feel like, more than anything.
And it's still one of my dreams to own one of those wheel sets, the steering wheels.
Yeah.
And actually play one of these good racing games with those.
That's not
Because it
me.
used
That's
to be
not
so
me.
crappy. Like you could only turn the steering wheel like 5 degrees this way and
Yeah.
5 degrees that way. But like now it actually turns quite a lot.
You see, what you
And
need,
it has feedback.
what you need is to have one of those racing wheels and then play a VR racing game. That's the ultimate combo.
I don't have room for VR, man.
Yeah, I know.
Come to Chicago.
Well, if
you'll find out.
it's just a seated game, you do.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then that'd be such a waste.
True.
You know what you need?
What?
A big old cup of coffee.
Yeah, you're always, you get me too late and you won't record on Sunday, so that's what happens.
What do you? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
well,
not-
this is our usual time.
I know, but I'm still never ready for it.
We need some Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew.
All right, enough of Gran Turismo. It's a
Ratchet and Clank.
It's a racing game. Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank, very impressive.
I have never been a Ratchet and Clank person, and I am
It's
100% going to get this game.
I was gonna say I was never into Ratchet and Clank either because they were too adventure-y, sort of like
and
kitty.
yeah, it's like Disney
Jump on it
adventure
and
game.
it will pop.
Yeah.
You know,
I've-
jump on a box and just break it with your butt.
But
Like
yeah,
that
but what's
kind of
cool about Ratchet and Clank is like the 100 different guns you get. That is kind of interesting.
Yeah. But it was always like a little too cartoony
Yes.
for me, especially when you had like all the other violent alternatives out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But this looked
Insanely
amazing.
good. Do you see the ray tracing in this? All of the lighting effects on the ground? Like, is this Unreal 5 that we were just introduced to? Or I didn't see
know.
what the engine was, but
This definitely looked like a PS5 game.
And that
'Cause
game-
a lot of them looked like PS3 or 4 games.
you know what? So this made me think of, remember when we watched the demo on like episode 1 of Unreal 5 and
Yes.
they were talking about like, we were
the
talking
gazillion triangles.
not that, but you know the part where she gets to the end of the temple and then she flies and it's like this is them
Oh
showing
yeah, like seamless load time.
Yes,
going through.
that's what this game is. It's a commercial for seamless load times.
Yeah, because you pull in like rifts or whatever you
Yeah.
like in the middle of playing, and it just like completely changes the scene, and
yeah.
it loads a whole brand new environment with enemies already in it, and a scenario happening, and texture, and explosions and stuff.
I don't know if it's going to be 60 frames. I bet it's going to be 30 frames, but like just that.
It looks smoother than 30 though, at least in the demo.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't think you can do 30 with something that's that flashy.
It was, but the showcase of changing the environment so quickly through those portals was like mind blowing.
Very cool.
I was really horny for it. I was horny for that little raccoon or whatever he is.
What the fuck was happening exactly when he was doing that? But very impressive.
And then when they turned it into like an interactable game mechanic, where he could like throw out that whip or whatever it was, and
he just pulled it.
Yeah. I was very
Mm-hmm.
into it. All of like the textures on like or the lighting effects like on Clank himself, where you could just see like all the light on him, and just on the floor, all of that lighting looked incredible too.
Yeah, everything.
I'm super pumped for that game.
Very well done.
This
is something that I never thought I would ever say, but if this actually does make me want to get
a PS5. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Hold on, I'm pulling up a notepad
Ratchet
here.
and Clank game. Never would have thought I'd
So
say that.
I want to make a top 5 for what I want here, and so far, Clank is going to go at number 1, but this will go down. Ratchet and Clank, putting that at number 1. All right, super pumped. Have not played a 3D action platformer like that in a long time, but I'm doing it. I'm getting that one.
It'll be fun.
All right, Project Athia or Athia, I'm not sure what.
Very obscure.
Yeah, so this is one of those Square Enix, how do you say it? Dreams that may or may not come to fruition in my mind.
You think so?
It's like one of those games that's like, okay, it's going to come out, but we're going to work on it until like 2025. is
Oh, I see what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
It,
Especially with how little they showed of it, which they didn't show anything basically.
Yeah, and it's also like in-house. It's not one of their partner companies, I don't think. So like are they working on Final Fantasy 16 at the same time, or is Project Athia Final Fantasy 16? I'm not quite sure. I know that the game was written by a lot of prominent screenwriters, foremost of which was Gary Whitta. I don't know if you know that guy.
No,
He's
that
the
guy.
he's the dude who wrote Book of Eli, and
Okay.
and
Uh-huh.
he also wrote Rogue One,
Okay.
the Star Wars movie Rogue One.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. I could see him coming up with a great story. I know he wrote it with many other writers. But I just don't trust Square Enix still. Like even after how good Final Fantasy VII Remake was, like they bring up something so grand and spectacular looking like that, and they don't really give you much. In they sell you a feeling. They don't really tell you what it is. They just sell you a mood, and they're like, look how pretty this shit is, and it's coming someday.
Honestly, it was so obscure that I thought Project Athia or Athia, whatever it
Yeah,
is,
I don't
I
know.
thought that was actually a name of a company involved, and I was waiting
Yeah.
for like the name of the game, and I was like, wait, what?
My like left field guess is that this will be Final Fantasy 16, but I'm not 100 on that. That's like my 20% guess.
So you think it's gonna be an RPG basically?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. Not like some sort of like Prince of Persia sort of adventure
No,
or
no. I think it'll
beat
be
'em up like God of War or something like
it'll
that.
be an action RPG if I had to guess.
Okay.
I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't expect to see anything for it for
Imagine
at least a
if
year.
they actually come out with more like footage and content, and you realize it's like a 2D pixelated pixel art RPG.
No. I mean, the
RPG maker.
I'm sorry, Square goes hard when it's their in-house teams. They do have their pixel games and stuff, which I still like. I very much liked Octopath Traveler.
Yeah,
I'm excited to play Bravely Default 2.
that was a very good game.
It was, yeah.
Never finished it,
But
I have.
those games are made by like what is it called? Like Tokyo RPG Factory or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
and the name is a little insulting. It's like, okay, are you guys saying that you just poop out RPG
that's what
games
they
no matter
do.
what?
They're the Tokyo RPG Factory. That's what they make.
No matter the quality?
Actually, let me
Just
see this. Who
mass produce.
Octopath Traveler. Is that who developed it? Was it Tokyo?
I think it is Factory.
Developed by developers Square Enix Business Division. Oh no, sorry. It's called Division 11. That's who made it. It wasn't Tokyo RPG Factory.
Oh, okay.
Who's making Bravely Default 2? Let me see. Default 2 developer is Silicon Studio. Wait, I know that name. Who are these guys? Sorry, I'm just pausing the whole. Oh no, these guys make software. They don't make games. A Japanese computer technology company. Okay. Oh, they made 3D Dot Game Heroes. That's a really good game.
What?
That was on PS3. They made the original Bravely Default and Bravely Default Bravely Second. I'm not worried about Bravely Default 2. That's going to be good. Did you ever play those games?
Bravely Default.
They're kind of
Is
like,
that the game where you can power up your characters during their turn?
yes.
And
You can like hold off on attacking and just like make them stronger and strong. You can like
Yeah.
yeah.
that was actually a good game. I played a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I played a demo on the Switch and I wanted to get it, but
Yeah.
I never got it.
It's good. It's good.
Because I just have
recommend
too
it.
many games on my fucking wish list.
Also, that game will take you like 100 hours.
Oh, I bet.
All right.
You actually played it?
I did play the original on 3DS or is it DS? I can't remember if it was DS.
Oh, it's an
or
older
3D.
game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been around for a minute for sure.
Okay, let's move on.
So last thing, yeah, Square. I still have hope for you, but I also don't trust you. So we'll see what happens with Project Athia or
Yeah.
Athia. Stray. Talk about this. This is weird.
Stray. first of all, great animation on a cat.
Yeah, maybe the best animation I've ever seen on a cat.
It's the best cat animation I've ever seen. Very realistic, very smooth, especially when it just jumps from the street onto like the windowsill
Yeah,
of the shop or whatever.
yeah.
But really strange game, and I'm gonna like have like a really side branched opinion is that because there's like another game down the list that they do some. Oh, Goodbye Volcano High. I'm
Oh,
not a
that
big
one. Yeah, yeah.
fan. I'm not a big fan of games where they just recreate the human society with characters that are not humans. Like I feel like that's lazy.
Yeah,
I
I hear
feel
what you're
like it's
saying.
unoriginal. And in Stray, they show a society of robots
Yeah.
that are basically acting like people,
Well,
doing the same things that people are doing, facial expressions, sitting
all
around.
right.
There's even like
So,
this guy just like lean back on a bike and like talking to another guy. I'm like, really? You're gonna show that a robot has like body language and all that program into it?
I
Like
could
they're not
see
gonna
Stray being more interesting than Volcano High though, because Stray, it makes me think that all humans are dead,
Yeah,
and
Stray's definitely more of a mature title.
yeah.
Goodbye Volcano High, that's definitely something that's supposed to appeal more to, I think, like honestly, college kids and high school
We'll
kids.
we'll talk about that one a little later.
We'll talk about it because it is kind of goofy.
Yeah.
But Stray, obviously, it's going to be an adventure sort of game.
We don't really know, do we? Let me read this little blurb. They don't seem to know much more than us. Annapurna Interactive revealed a robot-focused game called Stray, set in a world where humans have died off. Cats, however, are still in abundance, and the robots appear to be replacing humanity in their old roles. That's what's interesting to me, is that they're emulating us. It's not that like a universe exists where robots are
Yeah, it's
are
not a
human,
robot universe.
Yeah.
It's a human universe with the robots being the people. Okay.
I don't know why you're mad about that. I find that way more interesting. That they're emulating their creators. Like something about that is interesting to me. But
It's just, yeah, I guess like I'll talk about it more when
it's
it comes
it's
to the high school thing.
it sports a neo infused aesthetic, which is cool. It kind of reminded me of like
Yes.
Blade Runner, and the adorable kitties wear backpacks. It's coming 2021, and to me, it looks like you actually play as the cat.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably solving some sort of mystery or I don't know.
Yeah.
But obviously you have interactions with that thing that's on your back. Maybe it does like kinetic stuff, like grabs things for you.
It was a backpack for sure.
Yeah. Maybe there's who knows what's in it. How can a cat use a backpack and reach back there? Who knows how it's activated, how they got up there.
Maybe
like,
his tail is like prehensile, and he can just like use it and grab things like a monkey would, like a
that would be
prehensile. So it's we don't know how many years in the future is this. It could be something that cats have evolved now, a prehensile.
Cats have
tail.
evolved to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, maybe it's like they're actual robots too, and it just like that's like their charge pack.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Little battery backpack.
I
But I think you're gonna be a cat going through like nooks and crannies and like discovering things and solving puzzles. I think it's gonna be like a puzzle solving sort of adventure.
I was super sold on the aesthetic.
Very much.
But we don't really know anything else. It had a very good. They sold a good mood. They sold a good look. I don't know anything.
But this is what I mean. It's like, okay, they show like robots waiting in the subway, like and coming back from home from work and looking tired. Like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
I hope you know what I mean a little bit.
I get what you're saying, but like I also find it sort of adorable. All right, this Returnal. I kind of don't really remember this one. A new franchise from Sony was shown during the event, developed by formerly arcade-focused Housemarque. Returnal features a crash landing on an alien. Oh, yes.
This is the one that had like a Half-Life feeling to it.
It also reminded me a little bit of Lone Echo, the VR game, if you know. Yes, because the main character looks a lot like one of the characters in that. Returnal features a crash landing on an alien planet where the protagonist keeps reliving the same events, including her death, over and over again. The planet, however, changes every time she dies. So that makes it sound like, to me, that it's a roguelike.
No, I think it's scripted.
It says it changes every time she dies.
Like procedurally generated?
It's one of two things. It's either a rogue-like procedurally generated, or it's a clockwork universe like the Outer Wilds.
It did have a rogue-like sort of shooter feeling to it.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about the gameplay elements. I just remember that it was like
it looked really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that I was a little disappointed with, and you have to be critical when you're talking about stuff like this, right? It was the character model, like the face. it could have looked more human, in my
Yeah, it
opinion.
was a
And
little
there were a lot
uncanny.
of yeah, and there were a lot of sequences where it just like zoomed on her face, and I was like, ah, you could have done like slightly better job. Like for example, in the trailer for uh
Horizon.
Horizon,
Yeah.
and another one, was it? I forget which one it was, but there was another one, and was it Ghostwire? Maybe.
Ghostwire Tokyo. None. I don't think anyone in Ghostwire Tokyo had like really detailed faces.
But yeah, there was another title that like there were faces in it, and I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want to see, like next gen faces and facial expressions.
Yep.
And this one didn't do that exactly, but the gameplay looked really good.
So this, have you ever seen that Tom Cruise movie Edge of Tomorrow? And then they renamed it Live Die Repeat.
Is that the one where he breaks his ankles in it in the
I think
making?
oh, did he? I can't remember. Well, that's a movie where like he gets put into the middle. He's like a PR guy that gets put into the middle of this like Starship Troopers type war, and he gets blasted with this energy that just like resurrects him every single time he dies, and he has to keep trying to perfect the war effort, basically.
No, but that sounds interesting.
This
Sounds like Groundhog's Day,
Yes,
but
that's exactly what it is.
war style.
It's Star Wars Groundhog's Day, basically,
Okay.
and that's what this Returnal reminds me of. I'll give them
Mm,
a plus for a title. That's a good fucking title.
yes.
Returning eternally, Returnal. That's a hell of a name.
And I definitely give the trailer an A too.
This one is on the lower half for me. It's not going on my top 5 list here.
But Stray is, right?
No, Stray is not. The next one,
Not even in your top five?
Sackboy of Big Adventure is going
Oh,
on here,
no.
dude.
Oh, no.
Dude, I do not care about Sackboy. I do not care about Media Molecule. I don't care about Little Big Planet. I don't care about Dreams. But this game looks like a direct competitor that they worked super hard on for like Mario 3D World. It looks like they worked super hard to make that fun. And also, this means that there's no Knack this time. Do you know that series Knack? That's like their terrible family-friendly game that they've launched for like the last couple of systems.
No.
Well, it's gone. It
I
looks
just know Little Big Planet.
good. You don't need to know it. So it looks to me, it looks like Sackboy's Big Adventure is replacing Knack, which is great. Look up Knack. Just don't even look up a video. Just like type it's Knack and just look at the horrible, horrible character design on Knack.
Whoa.
Just go right to images. Yeah. That's Knack. That was their
Oh no.
That was their. You don't need to see anything else. You don't need to know anything else. That was their family friendly title, and now this is their family friendly title. And it, dude, when they were doing like the 4-player co-op, and you know everyone had their own individual platforms and stuff, it looked so good. The boss fights that they were doing, there was that moment where Sackboy was jumping across those platforms that were like big crocodile mouths or something.
Yeah.
And when he would land on them, they would get like annoyed and be like, "Okay, it's time to eat you now, bitch." And then they had that female sack girl, I guess, that looked like a goth, like a pastel goth chick.
Yeah. There were like actually a few characters they showed. Yeah. I remember that. She was like purpley, sort of.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I like platformers. I'm more of a 2D platformer guy.
Yeah.
But this looked like Mario 3D World, which is spectacular. If you have they released Mario 3D World yet as a remaster on Switch yet?
I don't think so.
If they have, you need to play it. It's great. Is Super Mario 3D World coming to Switch? Yes. Super Mario 3D World Deluxe looks set for Nintendo Switch. So when you see that come out, you want to get that.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely get that. And this game just feels like an evolution of that game, and I'm very excited for that.
At least I'm gonna say that it does show like it does seem like it's taking advantage of some of the more powerful engines in the PS5 and all of that. It's one of the better titles they showed graphically too.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you that some of them were like, what is this shit?
I hope you don't dislike my favorite one, because there's one on here that is my favorite for sure.
We'll see.
Okay, but I am keeping Sackboy there. And now let's talk about, I think, probably the least interesting one to me.
Destruction All
Yeah,
Stars.
Destruction All Stars.
Actually disappointing trailer.
Yeah, you know what? It to me it looks like
And the sweat on the guy's head
I
on his
don't
face
remember
when he
the
was doing
sweat.
the free throw looked like molasses and glossy, and I was like, oh, really, dude?
The
Th-
things you
That,
focus on is hilarious to me.
that's well, that's what you look for, like how they do like different effects, but
Yeah.
yeah, and dribbling, and then that's it, just and then bad sweaty face.
To me, it looked
Not
like
impressed.
it was like a combination of Twisted Metal, Rocket League, and Fortnite. And I
Oh wait,
was
wait, 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 wait! Oh, I'm so
oh,
sorry. No, no,
what
no,
are you
this is
thinking of?
not what I'm talking about. I saw All Stars and I was like, oh, this is NBA 2K
No, no, no. Oh, dude, I thought that looked beautiful. We'll talk about
2K21.
that later.
Oh no, it didn't. All right. Anyway, so this actually, I'm excited about this because this
Nah,
looks like a fun Twisted Metal game that
nah,
they
dog.
don't release enough of. You probably didn't like Twisted Metal back in the day either, did you?
I love Twisted Metal Black. That's my favorite one.
This is Twisted Metal, and then you get out of your car and do like goofy stuff as a person too.
I don't know, man. It kind of just looks like
It's arcade.
yeah, it looks like a weak attempt at like an esports game, like from the, but with like a Fortnite aesthetic.
I think it's just very arcadey.
You
I
would
don't know.
you would play this. You're saying you would play this.
I would play that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I would pay $60 for something like that.
No, that's a $40 title to me.
Yeah.
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 I feel like there's
It
not.
looked fun. Like honestly,
Okay.
cars with destructive modifiers on them. Yeah. It's just my childhood, Twisted Metal. Like I love that game.
All right. I guess I can get behind that. I guess, but it's something about the art style like was so milquetoast and boring to me that it just turned me off.
Here, I'll tell you my top. I'll make a top 5 list too. I don't know if I would put Gran Turismo on the top 5, but Ratchet for sure.
Yeah.
Stray, hard to say. I still want to put it on there.
You
'cause
like
don't know how to
some
get
you
it,
like some
maybe.
weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe Returnal. So yeah,
Yeah.
Ratchet, Returnal, Destruction All Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So far,
That's it. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna talk about my number one,
Kina,
Kina.
very good.
Kina, Bridge of Spirits. I'm just putting it on the list here. So this game is a totally new IP, and it is like, from what I can tell, it's like Breath of the Wild meets like Pixar or Studio Ghibli with Pikmin-like elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a girl who lives in this very nature-rich world that seems to be getting destroyed by some kind of blight.
Yeah,
And it looks like she's restoring health, basically, to nature. And
yeah.
I
And taking away the blight
yeah.
elements and become her friends somehow.
It looks like a very basic story, but man, the presentation on this game was
It's
spectacular.
gorgeous.
Yeah, dude.
Gorgeous.
The particle effects, the Pixar like character models, like how adorable are her little Pikmin things, whatever they are.
And then they seem to help her out. Like
Yeah.
they attack her enemies.
They attack her enemies. They move objects for her. I don't know if you noticed at the end of it when they're all like on an enemy and she's shooting arrows at that enemy, and when she shoots those energy arrows at them, more energy bolts come out of the little guys and they hit the other enemies
light up.
around.
Yeah, yeah. It's like they're like bombs on them. And exactly all the super power like special effects and the camera effects and the slow-mo effects, like they gorgeous. Like the world itself, like I think you should put up the trailer and just like kind of skim through it, because just the environments that you've created.
Oh, I wasn't ready for
sky.
this. Hold on, let me put up my watch together screen, even though we're not
just
going to
I'll
be watching it together.
I'll keep rambling until you do that.
Okay.
This is one of those games that people are. I know they're gonna love it. It's Ori and the Blind Forest, sort of like
Yes, that's
gorgeous
the other thing that it looks like to me.
graphics, just vibrant colors. There's just lovable characters, like these little things. Like people are gonna fall in love with these little guys.
I think so too. All right, it is playing while we talk. I also love like the little denizens of the world that she seems to be helping. She's helping like these little green-haired hobbit people. that are also super adorable. I don't know if you... Oh, did I lose you? Oh, no. Hold on. This is on pause for a moment. Oh, no. I guess I just have to talk for a moment. So, as you see here in the video, she seems to have like some kind of strange energy powers that I assume she's getting from nature itself, that's assisting her with stuff. And there's some type of encroaching evil that's destroying like her world, is what it seems like to me. I don't know how I've lost Dara. And I can't really pause this, so I'm just going to keep talking for a moment. Hold on, I will text him. I mean, you can't watch this video, but, you know. Technical difficulties. Give us a moment. I guess I might actually have to edit this, huh? Oh yeah, he's totally offline. Call me. Can't seem to call you. Okay. Call on the cell phone. I can't call through my headphones here. I used to be able to do that. Let me see. Here, I'm put him on speakerphone. We'll get him back. It's not going to sound good, but you know.
Okay.
Hey, I've got you on speakerphone on the podcast still.
Well, that's good because people are going to understand. Computer died.
Your computer... Oh, the computer's dead?
It came back up, fortunately. I'm actually amazed, but it's coming back up.
Dude.
Yeah, it just completely froze and restarted.
All right. We got to get you... We got to get you over to the PC permanent. I mean, to the laptop permanently.
I'm opening Discord right now.
Okay.
I'll be there in 10 seconds.
Okay, I'm just going to keep you on the phone because
Okay.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep... I'm keeping all of this in so people know. Oh, there you are, joining video call.
Raw production.
Oh, almost there.
Okay. Here's hello?
I hear you. I just don't see you.
Camera?
There you go. All right.
There we go.
He's back.
All right. Okay.
Whew. I think you have to transfer back to the laptop.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But let's just not talk about that.
Okay. Anyway,
so.
Kino looks super spectacular to me. Something about this like tickled me in the heartstrings or something.
Yeah.
And I need to get that one. That is my number one right now, I would say.
Yeah, definitely on my 5 too.
Yeah.
Which I think is now 4 already or 5.
All right. You seem to have opinions about excuse me, Goodbye Volcano High, so.
Goodbye Volcano High, another one of those titles. It's like, okay, here's a bunch of fantasy animals just acting identical to humans, playing guitars, being in concert, going to school, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, I don't know. I guess it's made to appeal to. I'm joking, but like furries and guys to like, you know, like, oh cool, look at this sexy rhino girl. Like, I don't know. It's like, okay, sweet and whatever, but it's just so unnecessary. Like, why isn't there a single unique element?
I mean, it's just gonna be a visual novel, I think, you know, and they didn't have a hook, maybe, and so they're using this art style that involves dinosaurs, and it looks like
maybe they're just bad at creating. Maybe they didn't want to risk creating unpleasant-looking human characters.
Maybe,
you know,
maybe
you know?
Nothing. I didn't totally understand why it was in this showcase.
Yeah, exactly. I think here's the thing. My conclusion was actually because afterwards I was like, yeah, why were some of these titles actually there? I think this is just to show like the lineup versus the potential and the capacities and capabilities of the console.
Yeah,
I think this was just to show people that there will be titles for you to play
like
sooner or later.
We'll have some interesting oddball garbage.
Yeah,
like, okay.
Because honestly, you can have that game on a PS2.
I don't know about that. Maybe a PS2 and a half.
PS2 and a half,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't even, not even a PS3, an Xbox.
This actually took way longer than I thought it was going to take. Let's start banging through these a little bit faster.
All right. What are we at? Like 45 minutes right now?
Yeah, we're at 49 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we're almost halfway through.
Yeah. So Oddworld,
interested.
Soulstorm. I've never been an Oddworld guy. I don't think it looked shitty. I thought it did have cool visual stuff going on, but I've never been an Oddworld person. All right,
It was not interesting to me at all because it was like this 2D side scroller, almost like 3D mixture hybrid.
that's how they've been for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but not visually impressive.
Yeah, it was all right.
I don't know.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Very interesting. 100% interested.
It gave me like Silent Hill vibes, but in this like acid, this like neo acid like first person combat way. I was interested, and I say for the moment this is probably my number 4.
The only thing that was really weird to me was the little girl's hair in the trailer.
It was like flowing kind of weird, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, it was not PS5.
Yeah.
Because they could have done like individual hair strands, and this was just like clump hair, just moving all in the air, just wavy. And I was like, oh, this is weak hair.
The combat did look very fast and frenetic and fun, though. I'm interested. I'm not like hyper interested, but I'm interested.
I'm interested too.
Godfall. I didn't care, and they chose a very weird song. It was like some kind of hip.
Wait, you skipped Jet.
Oh, Jet the Far Shore. I don't even remember this one.
I don't remember this either.
But a rocket fires into space and shows a series of satellites that appear to hold some sort of future for the planet. Hundreds of years later, a small ship flies to a much more vibrant land.
Oh yeah. Another one that was visually underwhelming for me. I was like, this is like a PC game or like a PlayStation 3, 4 game.
Why don't I remember this one?
You like this?
Oh, I remember why. It's because it's a little tiny ship just flying across like artistically nice, but not photorealistic stuff. I mean, it had like an interesting presentation to it, but there was nothing here that showed me what the story was about or what, the gameplay was really going to be like.
There wasn't any sort of hook.
It's really just like a ship skipping across like oceans is what I remember seeing.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a godlike.
I don't think it's a godlike. I think it might be like a micro version of like No Man's Sky or something like that. Maybe like a linear No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I don't really know. All right, Godfall.
Godfall.
I wasn't interested. This is the second time they've shown Godfall now.
Which one was Godfall?
Godfall, first shown several months ago, was demonstrated again during the event. It features intense melee combat using a variety of weapons. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
As well as supernatural and science fiction elements, you are unable to unlock godlike armor to defeat powerful foes. It will be out this holiday season.
It's like a better Darksiders or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It will appeal to beat 'em up fans, and I honestly, I'm kind of interested in that because that's another genre that I kind of grew up on.
I think it might be a little Souls-like as well.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think it's what they're taking best of both worlds. They're taking
the hack and slash,
and hack and slash, and they're throwing in like powers and feeling godlike.
Yeah.
And people love that.
I mean, if the reviews are good, I might go for it. I loved Sekiro for like the last Souls-like that I played.
Sekiro's so underrated, even though
my god, it's so good. All right,
I have to play that game so bad.
Godfall is not making it on my list. Solar Ash, I'm interested in it because it was made by the Hyper Light Drifter guys, and I love Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say another title. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, that was really surprising to me. As soon as I saw that it's by the creator of Hyper Light Drifter, I was like, oh, there you go. This is an indie company that actually made it big time.
And the art style makes me feel like it's a spin-off to Hyper Light Drifter. Like it looks like it's set in the same universe.
Yeah.
It's got a great title. I'll say that. Solar Ash is a dope-ass title.
Need to show more.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It didn't. I didn't get what it was gonna be like.
No.
Exactly. What were you gonna like? Were you, and what were you gonna be doing in a game like that?
All they showed was her dashing around a bit, and that's about it.
And she just went upside down.
Yeah. I imagine that will also be a melee combat focused game, but I'm not sure.
Maybe even no combat. Who knows?
I don't even want to talk about Hitman 3. I mean, it's Hitman.
Why?
What, do I not want to talk about it, or?
Hitman's only gotten better.
I know,
And
but it's still
another game
still,
I grew up on. I loved Hitman. when
I
was a
played
kid.
Hitman 2 a bit, but you can talk. Go ahead, you talk about Hitman.
Hitman was such a fun game for me when I was a kid, and I had so many playthroughs of it because unlike a lot of people who play Hitman games and get to a point where they just like start killing everyone, and that's how
Yeah.
they finished the levels. I was the kind of kid I would sit there and I would come up with those extra ways to finish
Those
missions.
ultimate plans.
The unique, yeah, and there
Yeah.
weren't any sort of achievements back then or
Yeah.
anything, so you just had to figure out exactly how to take out your targets through these other alternative means and paths and all that stuff. And I loved doing that. I played that game so many times through and through. I never played Hitman 2, but I played Hitman, and I think there was a sequel before Hitman 2, and maybe one after that. Maybe there were 3 games in a row, and then Hitman 2, because they were just titled differently, I think.
Yeah.
But and there's another thing. Even starting with the original Hitman, they were all about um making the game look realistic, the people behaving semi-naturally.
Yeah. And now they've gotten pretty silly.
Not very much, but I still very much appreciate just the environments they create, the atmospheres they create. The lighting effects in all the games are great. They always go in like bigger, but more beautiful and grand, like
But all right,
levels.
so I'm just gonna say this though. This is just more Hitman though, right?
It's more Hitman, but I think they're gonna take advantage of the fact that it can create better levels and gorgeous environments, because they make beautiful levels. Anyway,
all right, this next one, Astro's Playroom, I'm gonna give this an asterisk, as I'm pretty interested in it because I played Astrobot Rescue Mission over at Mike T's house. He's got PSVR, and that is one of the most fun VR games I've ever played. This is like another family-friendly mascot for them.
it's a VR game. Didn't even
Well,
realize
no,
that.
the original was a VR game, but it doesn't look like VR is going to be a pillar of their business with PS5, from what I can tell, or we would have gotten some kind of even small announcement. But this is a game that was very big on VR, and it looks like they've made a fully fledged, just regular old 3D platformer using that character, because that game was so tight. It was very good, very polished. And I am interested to see the review scores on that one.
Didn't look like a PS5 title though.
No,
Let's be honest.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked nice, but some of this other stuff just kind of beats the shit out of it.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
next one, Little Devil Inside,
Very
was
interested.
very
Dude,
interested in this too. Yeah,
There's everything in the trailer. There's humor.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I'm actually very interested. That definitely goes in my top 5.
what I can tell, it looks
100%.
like the protagonist lives inside the body of the old man.
Because of like that one scene where he's dropping the deuce.
Yeah, and
he's
the
dropping
little guy
bomb,
throws the bomb. Yeah, so this is like an action adventure.
and it keeps switching between him and
Yeah.
the old guy.
It's an action adventure game where you play like a little knight, and you're fighting the kinds of monsters you would expect to fight. There's like cockatrices and stuff like that in there, but it appears
Giant cat.
Yeah, it appears that you're inside the body of an old man, though. It looks like that's the world that you inhabit.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is too, in my opinion. But it looks great. It looks visually
Yeah.
good. It looks funny. It looks like a fun game. Like
It kind of
they
had
have-
like the characters kind of reminded me of like claymation characters that didn't look like clay.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm excited for that one. I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah, varied, weird, goofy, sort of random creatures that just
Yeah.
don't look like anything we've seen before, like wolves that don't look like wolves at all. Like the nice design. I really like that.
I'm interested. NBA 2K21. I'm not a sports guy. I don't care.
Nah.
We don't really need to talk about it. I don't think the visuals looked as bad as you thought. I thought it had some of the best looking visuals. Okay, fine. We don't need to argue about it. All right, this next one, Bug Snacks, is going to be bananas. This is going to be your goat simulator. This is going to be your Octodad. This is your Katamari Damacy. This is
Too childish for me.
This is PlayStation doing weird shit. And they've done weird shit very well in the past. I'll tell you this, the girl that I'm dating right now, very excited for this silly shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I looked at it, and the more I watched it, the more cringe I felt building up inside of me.
This is for the whimsical people.
Very whimsical,
Yeah.
like so much so that I think you just have to be like 7-year-old inside.
I know plenty of goobers that would definitely. I feel like I would like to try it because I like stuff like Katamari. You know, I like Goose.
Katamari is amazing.
I like stuff like Goose Game.
Dude, I have Goose Game on my Switch. I've never played it. I'm just waiting for like
It's
that
good.
special day when I sit down
Okay.
and play it. Don't spoil it. I've seen trailers.
And
but
this also was made by the guys who made Octodad, so.
yeah.
It
So
might
you
be
know
alright.
it's gonna be goofy.
But still, it does not make my list, but I am interested. Demon Souls?
Demon Souls. I mean, yeah.
Never played the original. I started with Dark Souls 2, which is arguably the worst one.
It does look like they did a good job with the remastering of it because it's the first one.
Well, they didn't show us any gameplay though, right? We only got CGI trailers,
Cinematics.
cinematics,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Shuhei introduced it though. Shuhei Yoshida, your former president. So
Yeah.
he, I think he thinks it's going to be a banger. So
I think it's going to be great, and a lot of people missed out on it because it was a kind of an obscure title back in the day.
Yeah.
You had to be a hardcore gamer. It was really tasking. Like the way people talked about it, you had to be dedicated.
yeah,
It was kind of they had like a slightly different flow compared to like the other Dark Souls games,
Yeah.
but it definitely was so old that a lot of people missed out on playing it, including myself.
maybe hopefully they'll make it a little bit more accessible.
I definitely think so.
And
yeah.
it's not
That's good.
it's not being made by From Software. It's being made by Bluepoint, which are like masters of remakes, right? Isn't it Bluemake doing it? Is
doesn't say here.
getting a remake? I want to say it's Bluepoint. Here, I can just go to the end of the. Oh no, Japan. Oh yeah, Bluepoint and Japan Studios. So Bluepoint are like the masters of remakes. So there's probably they did like the Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Ooh, okay. No, then much respect. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited about
So
that.
I think we got some a good chance for that to be great. Still doesn't
Definitely.
make my list though.
Maybe.
Resident
Maybe for me too.
Evil 8.
You skipped Deathloop.
Oh, I forgot about Deathloop. You know what the thing about Deathloop is? I like the concept, but I don't understand the concept fully. Like, I know that there are two assassins. You're both like these blaxploitation 70s like characters, right? That are trying to escape this like most dangerous game type of island, and whenever you die, you come back to life at the start. But what I don't understand is the male character and the female character. Are they two separate player characters that are both trying to escape, and only one of them can escape? Or is the female assassin, is she just like a really powerful non-player character? That's the part I don't get. And I would like to know if this is like a technically like a versus game, or
I think it's a versus game because it seemed like they're enemies.
they do definitely seem like they're enemies, but that's the thing I can't figure out. Like, is the female assassin, is she a player?
Yeah.
I don't.
Because isn't there a scene where she jumps off like a rooftop or something, just drilling bullets into whoever was below?
I mean, she slaps the shit out of him like multiple times. He talks about that, but I don't know. I think it's going to be cool, but
It was cool.
yeah.
I don't know, maybe cool gunplay.
I love its UI stuff. I love its like 70s stuff that it's got going on, and the character designs, at least for the two main characters, are super cool. I thought the enemy designs are kind of weak. They're all like wearing those animal masks from like your Next, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just hide identity masks.
Or like what's the really famous Vita game?
Before Vendetta.
No. I'm thinking about Hotline Miami, like that kind of thing. Where there were those masks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Not making my list.
Exactly. Same thing.
Resident Evil Village. Did you play Resident Evil 7?
Oh, it was Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Dude, see now, those faces on those people were PlayStation 5 material. That's what I was talking about.
So that's Resident Evil 8, and it's called Resident Evil Village, but it is Resident Evil 8. It's in first person again, like Resident Evil 7 was. It's continuing the story of Ethan, who is the main character from Resident Evil 7. I love Resident Evil 7, and this game looks like it's going bananas. It looks like it's got zombies, vampires, and werewolves in it. Like
Werewolves.
They're like going for it.
I was really surprised. I was like, wait, what? Werewolves? Okay.
Everything about this trailer looked great to me. I'm putting it on the list.
It definitely goes on my list too.
Yeah.
It looked like a fun Resident Evil. It had creepy characters in it. It was nice. It looked just freaking amazing.
Then
Man.
the next game here, Pragmata, is also a Capcom game with the 2022 release date. No idea what this game clearly is going to be. When it
Doesn't look that impressive.
I thought it was a Kojima game when it started. I was like, this is like Death Stranding ridiculous. It's got to be a Kojima game. Nope, it's a Capcom game. They show like a spaceman.
This is the game that I was talking about with the little girl's hair.
Yeah. Oh,
That I was
okay.
like, the hair's what's happening with the hair here? Come on, man.
So, real quick breakdown of the trailer. It starts with like a spaceman on Earth, and he's
like spraying the air,
and then he uses some device that it makes it look like he can get a holographic image of what happened in the past there.
Past events, yeah.
And then some little girl with like psychic powers shows up, and then a fucking satellite shows up to crush them, and then he shoots a bomb made out of like rubber hoses that keeps them from getting crushed by it, and then they're on the moon. I don't know.
And then they up in space and they're on the moon, which kind of, I guess, alludes at her being a robot, maybe,
or an alien that can breathe in outer space.
Yeah.
It was a very strange teaser. It was interesting, but I mean, like, I got no idea what this game is about or how it plays or whatever.
It may be like Mass Effect-y.
I don't know, but I don't think so. I feel like no. I think it's going to be more of a survival game in some kind of way. Is like the feel.
quick what should we call it? Quick event stuff.
Quick time events, maybe.
Quick time events.
I feel like that's going to get phased out more in this generation, but I don't know. I'm thinking.
No, not Mass Effect. I'm sorry. Dead Space, like Dead Space.
Yes, like survival horror. Yes, like Dead Space, closer to Dead Space.
Quick time events.
Maybe. And then finally, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm a huge fan.
Great.
I'm a huge fan of Horizon Zero Dawn. If you do end up getting yourself a PlayStation, make this your first purchase, and then God of War.
I watched the full playthrough of it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. Yeah.
I love Aloy. I love the world that they're in. I love all of the robot animals and the way that they come to fruition. I love the ruins of our society. I love like the Native American-esque tribalism that they have.
Yeah.
I love the voice acting. I love Horizon. This is not my number one. It's my number two.
What goes on the list?
Yeah, but it goes on the list.
For me too.
Yeah.
So what do you have on your list?
I have 6. I have Clank, Sackboy, Kena, Ghostwire, Resident Evil, and Horizon. For me, Ghostwire gets taken off the list.
Okay.
That would be what I would get rid of.
And I would say Horizon, Resident Evil, Little Devil Inside.
Yeah.
Goodbye Volcano High. No.
No.
Ratchet and either Ghostwire or Godfall.
Really? You're gonna put Godfall on there?
It just looked like a really cool beat 'em up with special powers.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
It's my order is gonna be Kena number 1, Horizon number 2.
Oh, Kena too. Yeah, Kena as well. Make mine 6 too.
I got mine down to 5. Kena number 1, Horizon number 2, Resident Evil number 3, honestly Sackboy number 4, and then Ratchet and Clank number 5.
Oof. Really? Sackboy takes such a priority on your list? Damn.
I think it's gonna be a competitor to the top tier Mario platformers, and I love the top tier Mario platformers. It looks like it's designed to be a Mario killer, you know? I mean, there's no way it'll ever be a Mario killer, but if it can get like within a couple points, then it's going to be spectacular.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look fun. I'm not hating on it. Don't get me wrong. You know.
And lastly, for this PlayStation 5 section,
the design.
I don't want to talk about it that much. Dumb or not dumb?
Not dumb.
Agreed. A lot of people are going crazy saying it's dumb. I don't think it's dumb. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks space age. It looks like what I thought a console in 2020 would look like when I was 10 years old. You know?
Yeah. Space age, modern, sleek.
Yeah.
It'll look good in a room. You know, it adds to the aesthetics.
I will say this,
honestly.
I would prefer an all black version if it was available.
No, I think it would look plastic and kind of weird
Okay. And
if it was all black.
if you were to get this, would you get the optical drive version or the hard drive only version?
Um, see, here's the thing. I think my opinion about that has changed ever since I got my Switch,
Yeah.
and I would definitely go with the digital version.
Same.
I'm no longer interested in having like paying and keeping like hard copies of stuff.
I
Like,
agree. To me, the only people who should buy an optical version are those who are in more rural areas with very poor internet speeds.
definitely,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Then you're gonna have to have like I don't even have room to
Yeah.
put
It's just more
discs
it's
or
more
whatever.
shit.
It's more shit,
Yeah.
and it looks cooler.
It does look cooler without that tumor on the side
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Controller design.
Fine. It's fine. It's they've basically redesigned the Xbox controller, I would
I was gonna
say.
say, yeah, they're similar and they're kind of blah.
They still haven't
Um,
offset the sticks, which I don't like that they still haven't offset the sticks.
that's never gonna change.
Yeah.
That's the PlayStation
Yeah.
design. They're always gonna stick to that no matter what. No matter what. But haptic feedback, the fact that it has a microphone built in and the speaker,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool, I guess.
There is a speaker in the PS4 controller, but there's no built-in microphone.
Oh, okay.
And the speaker in the PS4 the speaker in that controller sounds pretty good. It's not great, you know. I hope you can turn it off because you don't want to be laying next to your girl in bed and your fucking, controller is like screaming shit out at you. You know what I mean? Like hopefully it can just be disabled.
True. Obviously, as I don't know if it's like a back touch panel, but it certainly has a front one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised pleasantly that the console itself is gonna come with cameras.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are
no,
like
no, no.
the
That
same.
it wasn't going to come with it. That was an additional cost. That was an accessory.
Was it? So it is gonna be like Connect.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
well,
okay.
see, they use their cameras to interact with their VR headsets, so that could be a way to say like we are gonna have VR,
Mm-hmm.
because that's how the PS4 works. Is that there's a camera involved.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally, I do like the idea of the resistance on the triggers. That's kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
No, I like that too.
Yeah.
For sure.
All
Yeah.
right.
Headphones look nice. Remote looks decent, generic, but whatever.
So
It's a remote.
what you playing?
So I'm playing this game called Deck of Ashes. It came out on the 9th. It's version 1.0. It's a very visually unique, disturbing, creepy sort of game. It's a deck builder.
Yeah.
It's a roguelike adventure deck builder. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of game. The backstory real quick is that you're a band of brigands and you were like really scary and like cutthroats,
Yeah.
and you have, I think, you have a selection of 4 characters and they all have very unique passive abilities. um Very cool game. These guys, they go on a hunt for like this relic called the Cube of Ashes or like the Ash Box or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's like some sort of deceit. One of them grabs the box and he's flimsy and drops it and it shatters and like releases a curse upon the entire world.
So it's like
And
Pandora's box, kind of.
yeah, and
Yeah.
all of these people are afflicted by something. So, for example, there's a character in there. He's a jester, and he's like the evil jester. And he, after every few turns or certain conditions are met, he transforms into like this beast. Like he has different beast forms, and they have like different buffs and debuffs.
Hmm.
This other guy that I'm into right now, he's like a thief class. He's faster, but and they all have backstories, and you're trying to like get them to resolve their issues and like get to like conclude their story basically. This guy, his like girlfriend, wife, whatever, gets killed, and he goes on a rampage and kills people. But the thing is, like, the curse that befalls him is hearing the voices of the dead. So randomly, you either get a buff, like you hear the voice of your wife, and that gives you like 3 buffs of like cheaper card, blah blah blah. And then sometimes you hear the voices of the people you killed, and then it gives you debuffs. So like all of a sudden, one of your cards can cost 5, and the other cards get like +1 to their cost. It's
It sounds
if you're looking,
mechanically pretty rich.
It's very mechanically rich. I was about to say, if you're looking for like an in-depth, complicated, and very difficult tactical card game, roguelike adventure game,
Yeah.
this is the best you can find.
Deck of Ashes, was that it?
Deck of Ashes, yeah. Again, very unique and disturbing visual art style. I really like. Some people say that the UI is clunky. I don't care.
Yeah.
And another really interesting hook about this is that your Deck of Ashes, because you have this mechanic of ash in there. Every time that you play a card, you lose it.
So
You
they're
can't-
always consumed.
they're always consumed.
Okay.
And you have to draw 6 cards every turn. And if you can't fill your hand with 6 cards, you get a Ash Pack card. And playing that card, you have to play it because you can't. If you don't, you can't play any more cards. When you play it, at the cost of your HP, you get some of your Ash cards back into your deck.
Okay.
And then after every battle, you set up a tent, and you have the option. You get rest points. But you have to really cleverly spend your rest points either on bringing back your Ash cards into your deck for your next encounters, or use it to restore 10% of your HP per pip.
Yeah.
And
How many pips do you get?
Huh?
How many pips do you get?
Different number for different characters.
Okay.
Actually. And then there are like Ash mechanics or cards that you actually want them to end up in your Ash discard pile. It's very tactical. I really highly recommend it, especially to you personally, Nick.
Yeah.
It's $20. I'm telling you to get it.
Is it Switch or is it Steam as well?
It's PC.
It's PC specific. Okay.
Yeah, 100% worth it. It's a very small group of developers. They're very interactive. They actually had a contest this past week to design a mid boss.
Yeah.
And they were gonna take like the top 3 and like kind of like pick one from them, and then apply their own arts visual style to it, and then like import it into the game. So they listen to feedback. It's a very cool game. And the way that you traverse the world is every I don't know if there are floors. I'm not that deep in the game yet, but at least when you start in the world map, the final boss of the area, you have a meter at the top, and every point of interest you go to, that meter fills up. And if you get to the end, then you have like an inevitable encounter with the boss.
Yeah.
But as you go along, the paths become blocked, and the boss apparently like just fucks up the world around you. And you have, it's point based, so you can go from one point to the next. Events, dungeons that you go into, chests, crafting for cards,
Holy shit.
upgrading cards. It's amazing.
Is it
Definitely check out a trailer for it.
Is it completed or is it in early access?
It is complete. It's
Wow.
final release.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend
All right,
it.
Deck of
What are you
Ashes.
playing?
Check it out if you're into that. So I just recently started dating a new young lady, and how she likes gaming, and I figured we should ruin this as soon as possible. So I started playing Overcooked 2 with her over this weekend, and there actually was no yelling or screaming. We only went through like a world and a half, though. If you don't know Overcooked 2, who are you? Overcooked is amazing. It is this incredibly
It's hilarious.
incredibly frantic short order cook arcade game where like
Yes.
there'll be a recipe that comes in for like sashimi. So it's like, okay, we need to cut up fish and this one needs pickles in it, and I also need nori. Oh, but the knives are only on your side, but the fish is only on my side. So I got to grab the fish and throw it over to your side because you can't get it to me. Okay, you got that? Well, okay, I have an ingredient over here that you don't have, so bring it back to me, and then we'll put the dish together. You have to serve it, but oh shit, like we're out of dishes, and I can only wash the dishes on my side and you can't. And she's like, but I can't plate this
Yeah,
because
so
I don't.
while I'm washing the dishes, you have to cut up that ingredient.
So it's
and
just
then
like
a lot
this-
of things are they time out and spoil.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So, like, if you're-
the burger patties can burn.
Yep.
The orders can time out.
And if shit lights on fire, it doesn't just go away. You have to grab the fire extinguisher and put it out. And like, it's really bananas just to start with, like balancing all of this cooking and plating and washing and chopping and all this stuff and serving. But then they start to add like mobility.
And puzzle elements, like
Yeah.
you're your side can get blocked, or things like the stage starts moving around.
Yeah. So like so at the beginning, your restaurants are on the ground, and the weirdest thing that they do is that they give you like a conveyor belt that makes you go too fast or too slow in certain areas. In World 2, all of the restaurants are like, or at the second half of World 1, all of the restaurants are on these giant floating air balloons that are like just connected to each other, and the air balloons are like moving back and forth. So like you only get a certain amount of time. The worst part was when we did like this one recipe that was pretty complicated and took like a good like 25 seconds to put it all together. And then I went to walk from one balloon to the other, and I fell to my death. I fell to my death with the food. Like you respawn, but you don't get the food back. So you just
God.
And so yeah, you just totally set yourself back like 25, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you've only got 4 minutes to try to get like, it kind of works like a mobile game where there's like the 1 to 3 star system.
To hit a satisfaction level.
And this girl I'm dating is like super anal about getting 3 stars. So she'd be like, no, we got to restart. We got to get.
I adore that.
We got to get the 3 stars. We got to get the 3 stars. So
that is adorable.
So we did that for like 2 hours or something on Saturday. It was a shitload of fun. There was no screaming. Probably the best moment was when she... No, not yet. Probably the best moment is when she just kept throwing pickles at me and laughing hysterically. Like completely gave up on the objective, just enjoyed throwing pickles at me.
Smack.
As much as possible. I'm really enjoying Overcooked 2. I've actually had it on Switch for a while, but we decided to play it on PlayStation, so I rebought it because I've got like Joy-Con drift on one of my controllers, and it's wicked annoying.
Oh, that sucks. I actually filed a thing for that because I have one too. But due to COVID, they're not doing repairs.
I've been wanting to play this game for a while, but I've had no one to play it with, and I'm pumped that I'm finally going to get to play this. And,
nice.
And hopefully we get to the end of it without murdering each other. I'll let you know next week.
I have to try it with my girl too.
Yeah.
I have to get on my Switch.
Will she game?
She's not a gamer. She's gamed before, like when she was a kid.
Yeah.
She played like Sims and SimCity and games like that. Not a console gamer. She's played like what's that game where you're a programmer?
You're a programmer. Like Game Dev Tycoon?
No, it's like you're the programmer, and in the game setting is like you're in an office setting, and you have to do like mathematical stuff.
No idea.
It's called anyway.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can get her into like something simple like that. I got her like a Robo Gato game. I don't know if you remember that one.
I know that. Yeah.
The cat in a robot suit. I downloaded that for her. She played it. She was horrible at it, but it was like a lot of laugh. It was like a lunch break that we had together, and she was completely incapable of maneuvering the character.
It's always funny when you put the controller in somebody's hand that just like does not. Like, they don't have the muscle memory. It's just like
how do you move forward and jump?
Yeah. And I was a little worried. This girl telling me that she's a gamer and stuff. I was a little worried. Like, nope, she's a gamer. She's got all that muscle memory. It's there.
That's awesome.
Anyway, this is the longest episode we've ever done, and we only had one topic.
And we kept. I mean, it was a good episode. It was a good one.
Except for when the computer died.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
And
maybe I'll cut it out. Nah, I'm too lazy. People have to see how things go.
No, it was like 2 minutes. I think that wasn't too bad.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. Maybe next week we might have 3 hosts next week. You can watch this on he'sbaggames.com or get it on Spotify if you search Whatcha Playin. My channel is He's Bag Games, and Dara's is Ink Eyes, although he's currently not uploading anything. But he does have...
May upload some Deck of Ashes.
He does have lots of videos over there.
I do.
Thank you very much for watching / listening. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye-bye.